All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're going to dig into the blueprint for becoming a yoga teacher. And we're not just going to look at what a training program says, but how it's actually built, its structure, because that tells you everything about what it truly values. So let's break this thing down. So think about it. You're in a yoga class and you look at your teacher. Have you ever wondered what their journey was actually like? Is it just about being super flexible and nailing all the poses, or is there something way deeper going on? That's exactly what we're going to get into today. And our guide on this little adventure is the 200-hour teacher training manual from YogaFlow University. We're going to treat its table of contents like a treasure map, basically. By following the path it lays out, we can see the story it's telling us about what really makes a great teacher. Okay, so no surprise here, the journey kicks off right where you'd think it would, on the yoga mat. I mean, before you can even think about guiding other people, you have to master the mechanics yourself, right? So this whole first part is all about building that solid physical foundation. It's the how of the practice. And these first 4 chapters are super practical. You're talking the basics of the program, the absolute foundations of the practice, key sequences like sun salutations, and something that's so important, how to assist people safely. It's all about building tangible, hands-on skills. But then, right after all that, the manual does something really interesting. It pivots. And this, right here, is where it gets really good. Smack dab in the middle of all this physical, practical training, the whole curriculum just shifts gears. It moves away from the how of doing yoga to the much, much deeper question of why we do it. And this brings us right to the heart of the whole thing. Which, makes you wonder, right? Why would you put a chapter on philosophy and lifestyle, something that feels so abstract, right in the center of a hands-on training? I mean, why not stick it at the beginning for context, or at the very end as a nice little wrap-up? Well, its placement tells us everything. It is completely deliberate. And just look at the language they use for this chapter, chapter 5. It doesn't just say, hey, learn some philosophy. It says to integrate ancient wisdom into modern teaching and daily life. That word, integrate, is everything. The goal here isn't just knowing stuff, it's about actually using it. So yeah, that integration piece is the whole game. What the manual structure is telling us is that you can't really be an effective modern teacher without this philosophical core. Understanding things like the 8 limbs of yoga, which is basically yoga's ethical playbook, it's not just a history lesson. It's meant to be a real practical framework that you weave into how you teach, and maybe even more importantly, how you actually live your life. Putting philosophy right here in the center completely changes everything that comes after it. It sets the stage for taking all that inner wisdom and blending it with the outer, practical skills of teaching. The whole point is to create teachers who guide from a place of real understanding, not just someone who's good at the poses. And this table just lays it all out so perfectly. You see, on one side, you've got the physical foundation. On the other side, you've got the application, the actual teaching skills. And what connects them? Right there in the middle, chapter 5. It's the bridge. It's what connects the how with the why, and it makes sure that all the teaching that follows is authentic and whole. And you can totally see this integration play out in the final topics. Chapter 6 dives into more subtle things like chakras and the body's energy systems, which makes so much more sense after you've got the philosophical background. Then, chapter 7 brings it all home with the real-world teaching skills and professional development. It's the ultimate application of all this combined knowledge. So, after looking at this whole roadmap, what does it tell us about the path of a modern yoga teacher? Well, it tells us that it is about so much more than just being a fitness instructor. The big takeaway here, really, is that being able to do a perfect handstand is just the start. According to this blueprint, an exceptional teacher is someone who has truly integrated the philosophy into their life. They don't just teach yoga, they embody it. They guide their students from a place of real, lived experience. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to chew on. Based on this structure, is teacher training the finish line, or is it actually the starting line? This blueprint seems to suggest it's the official start of a much deeper, lifelong journey of both practicing and living your yoga. Thanks for digging into this with me.